Well, looking slightly different, but good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Ben. How are you?
I am frustrated, but I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, well, your frustration is of your own making.
Shh. Because for the first time, I'm
Stop
gonna.
telling me to shush or I'll fucking come over there and punch you.
Well, I was gonna say good afternoon, TikTok, but it's
But,
it's going live on that platform is not being liked by my computer, so I'm gonna pull it.
yeah,
You know what, John?
I was right.
I'm gonna give you the settings to go live on TikTok.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, well, you can put it out there from now on because I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. My computer just can't handle the extra streaming software. It would seem
But
so.
I'll tell you what, since I've got the hardware to do that restream stuff, I'll
Yeah.
do the two restream one. I'll do the restream ones, and you can carry on with the Chinese spy software.
Well, the Chinese spy software. We've got 8,500 subscribers, John.
And you built them, and it's only fair that you take the glory for
Oh
that.
Jesus Christ! Anyway, John,
Yes, Ben.
introduce the show.
Good afternoon, one and all, to this episode 135 of this fantastic show that we know as Chasing Descent Live.
135.
135. From me, the man formerly in the van and now hunkering in the bunker, and from Ben on the South Coast studio. And today we have a special guest. We have the third wheel.
You can see it there. It's big screen. There we are. You can't see the third wheel itself because, quite frankly,
It's just a wheel.
it's just a wheel.
It's automation.
Yes, automation.
Oh, you're moving our little names around.
Do you want us? Do you like it?
It's lovely.
Do you like my
It's lovely.
Do you like my live editing as I'm going?
Yeah. Just do it on a hoof. Why not? Show them all our secrets.
Well, you got to.
So we just take our clothes off and expose ourselves.
Yeah, why not?
Right, hold on. I've got two keyboards and two mice in front of me, so I've got to make sure I use the right one.
Do you want to look your best, or don't you, John?
I always look my best, mate.
Well,
Good afternoon, DW. Good afternoon, Dark Spy. What did you mean, no? No what?
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure what Dark Spies are flaring to.
But now you look way better on the screen. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, I thought I looked quite soft focus.
Well, now you look way better.
Okay. Right, what shall we do? What shall we do today?
Well, I got a question for you.
Go on, what's your question?
Did you put that thing in the list that I asked you to?
Yeah, it's further down the list, but it's in the list.
You did put it in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay. I'm still moving this around. But do we have a list?
Well, we do have a list. We do have a list, mate. Yep.
I'm just making this look pretty. Okay. Shall I roll VT?
Yeah, go on, roll VT.
So what's on the list? Where do we start today for the news, John?
God. Yeah, you know what? I mean, we were digging through some of this last night on the after party.
Yeah.
Which was quite interesting because we seemed to be taking people on an individual basis, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we gave them we gave them massive amounts of entertainment, one on one.
Yeah,
One
because
on one.
they came in one after the other. No sooner had one left than one joined.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting indeed. So where are we going first, anyhow?
We are going to the Sea of Japan. So, like I said last night, what happened? What happened was America has to put their neb in, don't they? You know,
Yeah.
as soon as Kim Jong or whatever his name is decides to fire off one of his little rockets and over the Sea of Japan, over Japan and into the Sea of Japan.
Yeah.
What does America go and do? They go and stick a fucking aircraft carrier right in the firing zone.
Yeah.
You know, put one of your biggest battle groups in. You know, the Sixth Fleet. Put one of your biggest battle groups fair and square in the path of danger. Yeah, because Kim Jong or whatever his name is just firing rockets off indiscriminately. And let's face it, they're not necessarily the best of technology. Okay.
No, it's North Korea.
Yeah, they may go up, they may come down, they may even explode on occasion, both before they go or when they arrive.
Yep.
But I'm not convinced about their accuracy. Therefore, it makes no sense to me to put a battle group in the zone.
Do you know what I find
where
hilarious?
they're likely to land.
What I find hilarious is at this point he's shooting them over Japan, right?
Yeah.
And as you said, I'm also not quite convinced of the technology, of the accuracy, or anything like that. And this guy is shooting his rockets over populated areas that aren't his own people. Yeah, just fire the rocket. Fire it off. Yeah. Send it over Japan. Yeah.
And what would Japan do on that occasion? Because he did it again last night after the Yanks had put a battle group in the zone. So, of course, our friend, Uncle Joe, what does he say? What does he say?
Well, you let him speak for himself.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for coming down. We appreciate it. I'll keep the food.
No one fucks with the
Yeah, goddamn.
I heard that.
Oh, I heard that too.
I heard that.
That's
Joseph
exactly right.
R.
That's exactly
Biden.
right.
Yeah. There you go, you naughty man. No
And
one.
For that, I was going to say, John, translate.
What? Hold on. What's happened to my... Jesus Christ, I've lost my slide.
John,
Yeah.
translate for us what Uncle Joe said.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for coming down. We appreciate it. I'll keep the food.
No one fucks with the
Yeah, goddamn.
No one!
and I can't argue with you brothers.
No one fucks
That's
with a
exactly
Biden.
Right. That's exactly right.
No one fucks with a Biden.
That's exactly right. So...
Do you think Uncle Joe thought he was talking to Corn Pop there?
Yeah, I think Uncle Joe didn't realise the mic was on, because Uncle Joe's not the brightest these days, is he?
What do you mean these days? He's demented, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term. He has dementia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The guy needs a carer.
He needs a nice retirement village, one that he's not allowed to leave, without specialist carers taking him from place to place. I mean, the poor guy, yesterday, the day before, was just staring at the floor looking for a Jaffa cake. I don't know. This man should not be the leader of the free world. I mean, we know he technically isn't. He's being told what to do, but he shouldn't. It's elder abuse at this point.
It's quite frightening, to be fair, isn't it? Because it is elder abuse, as you said, and I mean he's basically living on his past successes or failures or whatever they were. Because you've got to remember, Joe Biden's been in Congress for 120 years.
He did say that.
Joe Biden's own words.
He did say that. Yeah.
I've been a congressman for 120 years. So he has a wealth of experience for us to call upon. I mean, I don't know how he does that. Maybe it's the old adrenochrome or something like that.
Or it's Sandra Bullock's foreskin facials.
Yeah. Korean
mean,
foreskin facials. And we don't mean that in a pornographic way.
She actually did it.
Yeah, but she's not getting facials from the foreskin. She's using the foreskin to make a facial.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, actually, it's worse than a facial because it's an injection into her face.
I mean, these people are nuts. They're not normal. They don't live in the real world, John.
They don't. They do. They definitely do not, mate. They definitely do not. It's quite frightening. And of course, while we're on the subject of Japan, which we need to get back to, obviously. So
a place I would love to go, by the way.
I've been to Japan. It's a strange place.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I want to see it.
But anyway, It's like Blade. Have you ever seen Blade Runner? It's a
Yeah.
bit like Blade Runner.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. In fact, so's parts of Vancouver. They're a bit like Blade Runner as well.
Well, whilst we're talking about Japan and Blade Runner, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you haven't done already, and share this video out and have people come and join us. That would be very much appreciated. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes, so, of course, while that happened last night, what then? What then did... What? Oh, excuse me. Right. There we... I don't know why that's... The slide deck is misbehaving.
Your
Right.
slide deck fancies the unwashed.
It does,
shit
and we'll
spirit.
get to her. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, she's on the bloody title thumbnail,
She's
so
on
we'll
the
get to her.
thumbnail.
So the instructions by the Prime Minister in response to the missile launch by North Korea at 0606.
Yes.
I take it that's Japan time. Because it
Yep.
was about what, 11 or something? 10 o'clock?
It was relatively late last night, yeah.
So he's issued these instructions: dedicate maximum efforts to gather and analyze information. Okay. Provide the public speedy and adequate information. Now, the only information I'd be interested in is, should I be going to the nuclear fallout shelter or not?
Do we no, because we got to start from the initial question. Do we have a nuclear fallout shelter? And I mean, as it's
Okay,
Japan,
should I be going to the subway?
I was going to say, as it's Japan and they've had 2 dropped on them already,
Yeah.
I would hope that they do have provisions for this kind
Well,
of eventuality.
See, the thing that I and it might sound a bit conspiratorial,
Right.
but I'm not meaning it to be. But Japan had 2 major cities that were bombed by the single nuclear power of the time, which was the United States of America, and still to this day, the only country to have used a nuclear weapon in an actual war.
Mm-hmm.
To this day. Right. So two major cities bombed beyond recognition with radioactive nuclear devices,
Yep.
but both those cities have been subsequently rebuilt and have millions of people living in them.
That's Hiroshima
yet-
and Nagasaki, by the
Yeah,
way.
and yet a nuclear reactor incident, and you're not allowed to go near the place. And that applies to both Japan and Chernobyl.
I'll tell you why.
Because you're not allowed to go to Fukushima either.
I'll tell you why, John.
Go on, Ben, enlighten me.
Interdimensional gateways, John.
It's Stranger Things, isn't it? Stranger Things is real, isn't it? It's real.
I'm not saying it's aliens,
But
but you know, I
It's
thought
aliens.
you were going to have the Giorgio Tsukalo hair today.
I chickened out. I might do it tomorrow.
Yeah, please. Do. I think it will look fantastic. I really do.
Right. So, in addition, the Prime Minister of Japan wants to ensure the safety of aircraft, vessels, and other assets.
Okay.
And he wants to take all possible measures for precaution, readiness for contingencies. Now, those contingencies may involve large explosive devices falling on your country.
Yeah, or large explosive devices falling on North Korea in retaliation.
So then the question is, Japan and America are still pretty well linked, and there are quite a few military bases in Japan that belong to America.
Yes.
So next thing we
I
know,
mean, they're now good friends.
I think calling them good friends is a bit of a stretch, because a lot of the Japanese resent the American military presence there.
Right.
But yeah, it's probably more of a kind of marriage of convenience than anything else, because then Japan doesn't need to have a huge standing army in order to, to keep the threat of the Chinese bear away. And I use that term bear not because China is normally associated with dragons, but because of its current prime minister.
Win it up. Win it up.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm kind of glad we're not on TikTok now.
Yeah.
We'd have been banned.
Yeah, we would have. Let's get on to your favourite subject. No, where's she gone now? Oh, right, there she
Yeah,
is. Oh, my God.
is. Yeah, it's Maddie.
There's Maddie.
You little paper bag job, you.
We actually called for this, and in the respect of that, we were worried for her safety, her mental safety, and her physical safety because of her mental condition. So we called for this yesterday. We said someone needs to take her under arm and make sure that she's okay, and it appears the authorities have done this. They've remanded her in custody for 3 weeks, where she'll then be sentenced.
For those of you who don't know, young Maddie here, aged 21, I don't know her surname, I should have probably looked deeper into it, was part of a End UK Private Jets campaign group, run by, obviously, the idiot-in-chief Sir Roger Hallam, who founded Extinction Rebellion. He also founded Just Stop Oil, and we've invited him to appear on the show. Yes, we have. But he founded this group as well, and UK Private Jets, and what she did was go up to a statue. Well, it's kind of like a metal sheet cutout, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty poor statue, to be fair, but it's a representation of Sir Captain Tom.
And covered it in a bucket of, well, a large jerry can of human feces and urine. Why?
A bit stinky. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not quite sure what Captain Tom had to do with the whole affair, because he's just, he was famous for going for a walk. I mean, the guy went for a walk and literally raised
a few million.
Raised money for his daughter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Captain Tom Foundation is quite questionable, isn't it? Well, the foundation itself and the people running it.
There's quite a few questionable charities about, or non-charities.
Hello, mermaids. Hello, Jumbo. Anyway.
Hello. Yeah, and what's Meghan and Henry's?
Called? Sussex, whatever.
Yes, right. So,
yes, this is indeed live. I've got a question in the chat. At the time of recording,
do you think this would be so bad if it wasn't live?
But anyway, poor Maddie here, as you say, she needed to be taken into custody for her own safety, because if you look at the thumbnail for this show, you'll see that this girl, she self-immolated, didn't she? She set herself on fire.
She instantly regretted it as well. I don't think she quite. You need to watch the video if you haven't, because I don't think she quite realised how hot fire is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she poured some kind of flammable liquid on her skin, set fire to it, and then went. Ah!
She said, "We're going to set ourselves on fire every day until the government do what we want," essentially. And then she did it.
She didn't.
And then I doubt she set herself on fire again.
Yeah, she probably went, "Oh, I'm not doing that again. That was sore."
But
yeah, and this girl was studying medicine at university.
She's a cautionary tale about falling into cults.
Yeah, but she was studying medicine at university, and she's put her career on pause. I think she may have destroyed any potential career that she's likely to have.
Nobody's gonna want her. Nobody is gonna want her, just like the Tory woman, you know.
Yeah.
Did you put her on a list?
We spoke about her yesterday.
No, I put a thing earlier on, but I'll catch up with the Tory nurse. A presenter from GB News caught up with her at her home.
I saw that.
She has been sacked.
Yeah.
But she said it's our fault for not understanding a joke.
That wasn't a joke.
No,
I make jokes.
No, it was not.
I make jokes, and I have been misunderstood in the past.
Yes.
Right? By Twitter, usually.
Yes.
But that wasn't a joke.
Hopefully that's over.
And it wasn't out of context.
No, but hopefully that's over, and Twitter will welcome us back in with open arms from.
One should hope so.
One should hope so. And I should be able to reclaim those goddamn accounts. One should hope so.
Yes, you should.
One should hope so. Anyway, shall we move on?
Yes, moving on. So this is Rebel News. It's Avi that's reporting this, but this is Australia's camps for infected travellers or for quarantine.
Right.
So they're going to close them down now because you don't need them anymore. It housed just 2,168 travellers, and at a cost of 580 million. That works out at 267,527 Australian dollars per guest. That's over a quarter of a million Australian dollars per guest. So that's about 30 quid, I think.
And also,
okay, it's slightly more than 30 quid.
They were treated like what, second-class citizens the entire time they were there.
No, they were not treated like second-class citizens. They were treated like prisoners.
Yeah, but they were treated like the dirt.
They were verboten from crossing the yellow line.
Yeah.
They were not allowed to sit on the stairs. You know, they were treated like complete and utter prisoners.
Well, of course they were treated like prisoners. They were prisoners. They were prisoners.
Yeah.
Is Bishopsgate on the list? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the
No,
chat.
it's not on the list. Hold on. We're talking about things that are happening in the world.
I know,
We're not London-centric. I don't care what happens in London. I mean, London's a shithole. London has more knife crime than you can shake a stick at. Somebody's stabbed in London every day, you know?
It was safer in that quarantine camp.
You get upset about someone stealing your bike and you stab a few folk. This is normal for London. You know, we can't afford to report everything that happens in London because, you know, we'd be here for hours.
Yeah, we would. Going back to the quarantine camps, and like I said, it's probably safer in one of those quarantine camps than it is in London at the moment.
Well, probably, yeah.
Probably indeed, but it's all been such a colossal waste of money. What am I seeing about the?
Right. So this is from our friends in New York Post, and they're showing us
New York Post.
How they train Navy SEALs recruits. Yeah. You know, and we're not talking about the ones that swim about and eat fish. We're talking about the soldiers that swim about and don't eat fish.
Right.
So it's like this is horrendous, apparently, according to the New York Post. Navy SEAL recruits are forced to sign happy birthday while being tear gassed, right? Mm. Yeah, they're in the open air getting tear gassed. These guys have got it easy. When I got tear gassed, right, we had to go into a small brick outhouse that had no windows and no ventilation. We had to shut the door. We had to take off our gas mask, right?
Right.
We then, and the place is completely, you can barely see the instructor who's in there with a gas mask on, just in case you collapse, right? You then had to take your gas mask off. You barely see him for all the tear gas. You then had to recite your name, rank, serial number, and then you were allowed to leave after he deemed you'd been there long enough, right?
Right.
And then you went out and didn't do anything because if you touch it, it makes it worse.
John,
remember that. If you touch it, it makes it worse.
Listen. What I want to know is why the fuck you put yourself through that?
I didn't put myself through it. The police put me through it during training.
So
Riot training.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd have gone pass.
Well, no. I was young and foolhardy and I was right into it.
Well, fair enough. Better you than me. That much I will say. Better you than me.
If you are in a situation where you're likely to be tear gassed or pepper sprayed, carry milk.
Well, yeah, I would say that's probably good advice, to be honest.
Don't drink the milk. Pour it over your eyes.
Yeah, pour it straight in your eyes, just right in there. Try and keep your eyes open whilst you do it as well.
Yeah,
that much I will say.
Get the milk in there.
Shall we move on?
Yes, indeed. So anyway, I mean, soldiers are getting right wussy these days, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are. I see Uncle Joe again.
It's Uncle Joe. He's in Florida.
Oh, what's he got to say for us?
Well, look who's behind him.
Yeah, Uncle Joe's been spending some time with Governor.
And then we'll go on to Mr. DeSantis next, but the crowd went wild when DeSantis took the podium. And he was standing behind the seal that said President of the United States of America, you know? Seal of the President of the United States.
2028, Ron, 2028.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Let's hear what Uncle Joe's got to say.
I know from experience, how much anxiety and fear and concern there are in the people. We didn't lose our whole home, but lightning struck and we lost an awful lot of it about 15 years ago.
I'm led to believe that never happened.
Fact check. Fact check. False.
Fact check false.
Fact check false.
In fact, have I even got that? I might have that. Fact check false. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on. He might have a button.
I might have a button for
He
that.
might have a button for this.
I might. Oh God, I don't think I do. I think I might have taken it off. I've taken it off.
Look, remember, Uncle Joe just recently came out on stage and said he had cancer.
Yes,
remember
yes,
that?
he did. Oh no, I didn't.
Fact check false.
There we go.
I got there in the end.
But yeah, Uncle Joe came out on the stage a few months ago and said he had cancer. Him and everybody he knew got cancer. Now
That's
he's
right,
saying
that's
his house got struck by lightning and burnt down, is what he was saying there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Uncle Joe's living. He's either been going through those portals, and he's living in alternate realities, or his mind has gone.
Well,
and he's living in alternate realities.
Look, his mind was gone long before he took the office of president. His mind is gone, and
it is.
Once again, that's no derogatory thing. This man is not well. This man needs help, and the Democratic Party keep holding him up, just like and say, "Hey, it's Uncle Joe." You know.
Speaking of
Joe.
holding him up,
yeah.
Speaking of holding him up.
We're happy to be able to have done that. We also just executed a contract for emergency repairs to the Sanibel Causeway. So that's going to take a little bit longer. We anticipate it being done this month in October, and that will provide access back onto Sanibel. In the meantime, we have been airlifting support assets. We'll continue to do that also by boat.
I don't know who did that, but they deserve a round of applause.
And if you also think that they deserve a round of applause and that we deserve a round of applause, then please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/chasing descent, or you can go to Subscribestar at subscribestar.com/chasing descent, or ko-fi.com/chasing descent to become a patron and join us every Wednesday and Sunday night at 9 p.m. in what we call the after party. Now, I will not be here for this Sunday's after party because I will be away with the wife and kids and my grandmother. But John will be here to entertain the masses, and I'm sure you will all have a wonderful, wonderful time together if you indeed do become a patron, Subscribestar, or Ko-fi. Or, as I am taking my kids away for the first time in 5 years abroad, if you would like to buy me a glass of wine whilst I try and cope with the situation, you can do so at paypal.me/wheeliebricks, and I would really appreciate that as well. Shall we move on, John?
Yes, we will. And before you go off on one, I'm only going to talk about this next one because we can't verify it.
Right.
But it does show us kind of the fog of war to a degree. Okay. So this video surfaced last night from AZ Geopolitics, and he's been generally putting out stuff that I've said is or I've looked at before and is fairly accurate. So the problem with what we have here is these are alleged Ukrainian soldiers who are saying that they were told that when they moved into a village that it was empty of all civilian non-combatants. And anyone they came across was obviously a collaborator or an occupier, and they were just to be dispatched. Okay, not taken prisoner. They were all to be dispatched. They were to throw grenades into cellars without bothering to check and all that. They were just to just wipe everyone out, shoot through windows, throw grenades in cellars, and it goes on and tells us all this. And then the guy goes. During the night, they took refuge in an empty house, and then in the morning, from the cellar of that empty house that they hadn't thrown a grenade in, a young woman and her child came out of that cellar. And they were obviously not combatants and were not occupiers.
So, once again, we have to rely on the translation here being accurate.
Indeed we do, and we cannot verify that. That's why all we're saying is yes, and these soldiers were told by their commanders that this is war and these things happen, and they said
no.
we believe it's criminal, right? And then if that's how it went, it's a criminal act.
Yeah,
But
of course it is.
I'm
And
pretty
it's,
sure there's criminal acts occurring on both sides because that's generally what happens during war, doesn't it?
well, yeah, and also it's essentially an order to it's an order to dispatch your own civilians. And what were they going to do? Use the scene created afterwards to say, look what the Russians did? You have to wonder. You do have to wonder.
You
And
have to wonder. Yeah.
If
Well,
this is true, it is quite terrifying.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of debate over those staged satellite photographs.
Yeah.
You
So-
know, a lot of debate over them.
It's concerning.
Yeah,
It's
that is-
if true. If
it's
true.
very, very concerning. And then, of course, moving on. The Daily Mail gets in on the act, and this is what they are saying the Ukrainian army are doing. And if that's the case, right? If they're doing this, that's a breach of the Geneva Convention.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's read that headline out. This is from the Daily Mail. It says, we're hunting them down and shooting them like pigs. How the Ukrainians are taking brutal revenge on the collaborators who have betrayed their neighbours and country to the Russians. So what are they trying to say? Essentially, if you are pro-Russian, then you are a collaborator and you must be killed?
Well, that's effectively what that headline says. I mean, there's not a lot of room for interpretation there. We're
doesn't
hunting
appear
them
to be,
down
no.
and shooting them like pigs. We're hunting them down and arresting them for a subsequent war crimes trial or whatever. They're not saying that. They're saying we're hunting them down and shooting them like pigs. So that doesn't leave any room for interpretation.
It does not, and
That's not a joke.
but then at the same time, such a thing, in my eyes, should be condemned.
It should be condemned, yeah.
Because-
And the thing is, all these clowns that are running about going Slava Ukraina or whatever, no. Remember, you're dealing with the most corrupt country in Europe.
Yeah, well, one of the most in the world.
Yeah, top 3 in the world for child porn and peddling child paedophilia.
Yeah.
A terrible, terrible human rights record for women, a appalling human rights record against ethnic Romanis and gypsies. I mean, this is just it's not a nice country. And it wasn't a nice country, as evidenced by the BBC in as late as 2017, I think. 2016, 2017. And the BBC did a documentary on it showing how bad it was.
So pointing this out is not Russian propaganda.
No, it's not.
I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on there. For some reason, my PayPal just opened by itself. That was very weird. But
Maybe
hey,
somebody's paid you money.
one would like such a thing. But hey ho.
Yeah,
Whoever
and-
11 says fed up hearing. Okay.
I'm exactly with you on this because Liz shouldn't be saying such a thing because she doesn't speak for me, and
No.
I'm sure she doesn't speak for you, Ben,
No.
and I'm sure she doesn't speak for 90% of the people in this country.
No.
And the UK does not stand with Ukraine. We're pissed off that she's giving away our money,
Well,
our taxpayers' money, right?
While our
to
people
Ukraine.
starve and freeze this winter.
Yeah, exactly. While people are struggling to feed themselves and heat themselves, she's giving the money away to people who are able to give themselves a 70% increase on their wages, who are able
Yeah.
to buy foreign homes, who are able to put their parents up
Yeah.
in fancy mansions. Yeah, this is not a fair deal, and it's not doing us any good whatsoever.
No, it's
We're not at war. We're not at war.
Yeah, but we're
So
going
you
to
know
be,
what?
aren't we?
You know what? Until we are, well, we shouldn't be. The thing is, this
No,
isn't
we
any of
shouldn't
our
be.
business.
No,
This
you're
isn't
right.
any of our business. We should be butting out of this.
Yeah.
And just let them get on with it.
Yeah, but we have obviously our government has some kind of vested interest
Of course it
in
does.
this war. Now it's at the detriment.
No, I mean-
it's a detriment to our people.
we know exactly what the vested interest is. The vested interest is Team America World Police want to do Russia in. And they've always wanted to do Russia
Do
in
you want me to play the
since the
theme
Second
tune?
World War.
Should I play
Yeah,
the?
no, it's all right.
Come on, should I do it?
But that's what happens. You know, Team America World Police want to take on Russia and they want to do them in.
But
And the thing is, it's too late. It's not going to happen now because China's involved.
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America.
So you want to stop swearing on
Yeah,
YouTube,
sometimes.
and yet, yeah, okay.
Sometimes it's allowable, and when it's in a song,
yeah,
that's a bit
okay.
different.
So there you go. So that's why, and this is the whole thing's just disgusting.
Basically,
it disgusts me.
Basically,
Disgusts me.
global governments don't care for them, don't want anything to do with them. The government of Ukraine can do one. The government of Russia can do one. The government of the UK can do one. The government of the USA can do one. We are equal opportunist government haters here.
Indeed. And speaking of hating people, things don't bode well for this guy now, do they? Do you remember this guy?
Yes. Yes, so Project Veritas went undercover with Twitter, didn't they? And this Twitter executive calling Elon Musk mentally handicapped special and saying he has Asperger's. All of which could well be true, but Elon Musk is about to be your boss.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people in Twitter got twitchy bums right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at this statement as well. This Twitter exec goes on to say that Twitter is not here to give people free speech.
Well, I think it might be null.
Yeah. Well, one would hope so. I mean, people are terrified. Have you seen especially the journalists melting down over this?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I wanna talk about here is all of these journalists saying it's somehow going to affect elections. So, if all of these journalists...
you see, Twitter does have, right, it may well affect elections because Twitter does seem to have quite a pull on people's voting. But the thing is, if it is going to affect elections, it's probably going to affect it in a positive light,
actually,
that we won't get all the lefty spin that we normally get.
Well, actually, here's a question. If allowing more MAGA Republicans, as they call them, and people like that to post on Twitter and to put their point across on Twitter is affecting elections, then wasn't not allowing them to post on Twitter also affecting elections?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So, allowing more people to speak, allowing more speech can never be a bad thing, right?
Indeed.
It's how we solve our problems. Ultimately, we solve them with speech. The cure for bad speech is more speech, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And
I think you're right.
If people want to say the N-word on Twitter, you know, I can call them an asshole. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't quite understand. Vaughan says Twitter needs more people on just to balance the echo chamber, and that's exactly right.
Well, yeah. If anything that is an echo chamber, it's something like Truth Social.
Oh yeah, but they have been forced to become echo chambers because of the echo chamber that Twitter has been creating for itself.
Yeah, okay, right. And you say that, but they haven't. What's happened there is you have a particular group that have gravitated towards certain platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've gone to those platforms because of the behavior and the blocking and the censorship that's occurred on Twitter.
Yeah.
But you still don't get the freedom of speech on these other platforms because what happens is you don't get the opposing views. You don't get that.
I mean,
because everybody basically has the same view as you. So
yeah.
They're more of an echo chamber than Twitter is to this day.
Well, yes, you're absolutely right. And there is such a space right now. There really is a space for an all no holds barred, all out
like
free
Twitter
speech
used to
platform. Yeah, it used to, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, it used to literally call itself the free speech wing of the free speech party. That's what Twitter marketed itself to all of us as. That's what they said they were. That's what they enticed us in with. And then when they started doing this whole friggin' censorship, deboosting, ghost banning, all of this stuff, they went against that. And you have to boil it down to, as Jack Dorsey says himself, the activists that took control. Yeah. And they are going to be purged, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, well, some of them will, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just hope Vijaya Gadde, Twitter lawyer, head of trust and safety, I hope you've got a new job lined up, because you won't have one at Twitter for very long.
Yeah, that would be good to see her go.
Yeah,
anyway,
well, she's a disgrace. Yeah, let's move on.
Right, on you go, Ben.
Primark. Thank you for putting this in the list, John. You sexist bastards. Primark. Now, a video went viral about a week ago, a little bit less than a week ago, of a young girl said she'd gone into the Primark gender-neutral changing rooms and got really distressed because a couple of guys walked in on her and things like that. And so Primark, in response, have said, okay, we're going to reintroduce women-only fitting rooms. So now you're going to have a choice when you go into the Primark fitting room. You can either go into the women's fitting room or the mixed fitting room. What about the men? What about the men, John?
You know what? I'm trying to remember. But it's been a long time since I've tried on clothes. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't go in them as well.
But I'm pretty sure the last time I was in a big department store, and I'm not going to name any names, and it certainly wasn't Primark, because I've never shopped in Primark. Okay, so one, that I find it strange that there's men in there in the first place. But I remember being in a large department store, and there were fitting rooms for people to try on clothes, but there was no gender.
No, because I remember cubicles used to be in fitting rooms where you could shut and lock the door, right?
Yeah, or curtains, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But so do they not have them now? You know,
No.
so I don't know what's going on. I mean,
So
I don't understand the fuss. I think maybe it's a storm in a teacup.
well, all I want to say is this: if you are going to say that women are need some kind of special treatment, is that not sexism towards women? First of all, because they are such, as far as Primark is concerned, women need protecting as some kind of special class. Now, I thought feminism was all about equality. Am I wrong? Because
yes, you are wrong.
well, I know that I'm wrong. I know what the fourth wave feminism's all about. It's about superiority. It's not about equality at all. But they still say it's all about equality. They want equality. Now
They don't want equality. But then again, when did you ever come to the? Well, when did you ever realise that a woman knew what she wanted?
okay, I'm not going there. But they've turned around and they have said that women can have their own changing room, but men can't. Now, to be fair, I don't like anybody coming near me at the best of times, right?
Okay.
But if I want to be in a gender-neutral space or a sex-neutral space, a male-only space, especially when I'm doing something like getting changed or something like that, why don't I have that right? Why is it only women that have that right?
Well, they shouldn't. I mean, it's not fair.
Well, exactly. I think it's sexism on two fronts. I think it's sexism towards women and towards men.
It's the same as racism.
Yeah.
That's a one-way street as well, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's okay if it's against somebody who looks like us.
Yeah, of
But
course
if,
it is.
but if it's against anybody who looks like... Well, the thing is, actually, it's a bit deeper than that, isn't it? Because it can't be committed by anybody else either, apparently, according to the
Apparently
wokeies.
not. And yet, you get people... I mean, let's, for instance, look at... let's look at Lewis Hamilton, right?
Ah, Lewis.
Right. So he says he's black.
Yeah.
But he's just as much white as he is black. Because his mum's white and his dad's black. So why's he picked one side?
I don't
Why
even
has he
know.
picked the black side? Why
I
does he say he's black?
I don't even know why the idea of a side would exist. To be honest,
Exactly. Because people are stupid, that's why.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And it's division, isn't it? And it's our leaders wanting us divided. So using things like the media to stifle and force these narratives of racism and sexism and everywhere you look around the corner in the UK there's a major racist, John. Oh, there's a racist over there. There's a racist over there. No, it's not really. But they want you believing this and they want you divided. And you know, that's what we have to deal with, and that's the sort of thing we're trying to fight against. We don't care what you look like, we don't care where you come from, we don't care who you pray to or who you sleep with. Come and join us and have some fun. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
Let's move on. That's it. We're going up to your end now, the Daily Record.
Yeah. So this is it's just a bad joke, isn't it? I mean, can you hear it?
I can hear the meteor shower hitting your ceiling, John.
It's been raining here for like, I don't know, a week.
That's not rain, John, that's the meteor shower.
Yeah. So they do this every year. They tease us with these. Apparently, there'll be fantastic meteor showers, and then being Scotland, you don't. Well, as I said yesterday, I was 5 before I realised there was a sun in the sky. It's just like living in a big grey bowl most of the time.
Yeah. You live in a really crap place for weather.
Mm-hmm. We do.
You do. It's a fact.
So and this is a Scottish newspaper. They're obviously just trolling us. You know, they're teasing us. There's going to be a lovely meteor shower, and then we won't see this.
No.
I mean, it's only over 5 days. We need about 5 months of meteor showers in order to get 1 or 2 viewing days.
And you're not even in the big city, are you? So you don't even really have too much light pollution. It's just your country shite.
Yeah, no, we kind of do have light pollution. That's
still your country shite.
Yeah.
It's being run by Nicola Sturgeon. What do you expect?
Yeah, you're right.
What
Can't argue.
No, I mean you've got Humza Useless and Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP.
Yeah. John Swiney.
I feel very, very. I almost feel sorry for you. I really do.
Thanks.
Oh, it's almost there, but not quite. Shall we move on?
Not quite. Yeah, go on. So, do you remember the big mink cull of the last 2 years?
Because of the coup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's brought down the Danish PM, apparently.
I mean, that is a headline right there. Danish general election called after PM faces mink cull ultimatum. So what is the ultimatum? Give us back our bloody minks.
I mean, obviously they're looking for compensation, but I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous. I mean, you don't need to know any more than what's in that headline. That's just tremendous. Isn't it?
Absolutely tremendous. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Absolutely tremendous.
Natasha says in the chat, Minkgate.
Oh, yeah, Minkgate. So moving on, back to Rebel News. So these people in Canada really don't like Rebel News because now they're saying I don't want to speak to you. You spread misinformation was the message conveyed by Liberal Transport Manager Omar Agrabah while Conservatives address Alberta's relationship with Ottawa. I think if anyone's spreading misinformation, it's Trudeau and his government.
Well, he's done this before. Trudeau has done this directly to Rebel News journalists and to I have made it very clear how I feel about your organisation. All right, Justin, I've made it very clear how I feel about you dressing up as Aladdin. But you know, we should go out and have a drink. I'll dress up. I'll paint yourself blue and dress up as a genie.
So it's just Canada being Canada, isn't it?
Well, yeah, this
Canada
is it.
being Canada. I mean,
this is it.
It's firmly in the hands of the WEF now.
Well, of course it is, and I mean, look, this is the country that called a state of emergency on peaceful truckers having a party in the street, trying to reclaim the freedoms that were unjustly stolen from them by their government.
Yep.
It just beggars
Moving
belief.
on.
Alec Baldwin.
They're going to make it, so apparently they've agreed and they're going to carry on.
They're going to carry on filming the low-budget movie Rust. Alec Baldwin, now for those of you who don't know, he shot and killed a producer on that movie.
No, it wasn't a producer, it was a cinematographer.
Oh, a cinematographer, my apologies.
Yeah,
And,
she was behind the camera, and he was pointing the gun directly at the camera and shot her.
Now, there is a criminal case involved with all of this. And I'm astounded that they're going to go back and they're going to finish making this flick. I think it's kind of disrespectful. I'm not going to lie.
Depends how much money they've put into it.
Well, tough. Let's
Oh,
move on.
yeah. I mean, you know what Hollywood's like. It's money driven. I mean, it's a cesspit.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Yeah, and they're getting woke. They're going broke. Christine Stable Ben. She's got my first name as her surname. Norway does not recommend coof boosters to healthy individuals under 65 years of age this autumn.
That's quite a statement actually, because under 65, that's a lot of people. That's probably the majority of the population.
Isn't that just common sense, John?
Well, yeah, probably. But the thing is, what I'd like to know is what they're recommending for flu vax.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, even in this country, right, the flu vaccine has never been really recommended for anyone under 65 unless they've got comorbidities, immunocompromised, things like that, and they give it to very, very young children in school via a nasal spray.
No.
Well,
No, that's not the case.
Okay,
that's not the case, Ben. The flu vax has been recommended and given to kids in schools.
Did you not hear what I just
for
said?
years now, right?
I just
but
said
it's
that.
also but it's also been strongly urged that everyone that works for the NHS takes it.
Yes, okay, I'll give you that, because they are in a high-risk environment throughout the winter.
Well, are they? But yeah, okay.
But for the general population, it's definitely not given for free. I was in the pharmacy in July.
Well, it is in Scotland, and people are urged to get it below the age of 65.
See, I was in the pharmacy in July, and in July this was, and they were giving me my prescription. I get a lot of medication every month, and they go, "Oh, we've got a note from your doctor here. Just sit down. We'll pop a flu vaccine in you." I went, "What?" They went, yeah. They just said we got to give you a flu vaccine. Sit down. We'll pop a flu. I said, "You're asking me if I want one? You asked me this. I've not had it. I think I've had it once or twice before in my life. I certainly didn't have it when I was a child, and
No.
I'm good, thank you." And they went, "Oh, should we ask you again next month?" I said, "You can ask, but the answer's not going to change." But it was just the way they came at me, like,
Yeah.
oh, this flu vaccine is yours. There are many others like it, but this one is yours. And you know, we've got it. Just sit down. We'll pop it in you. Thanks. No thanks.
Ooh.
Ask if I want it. Vaughan says, think it costs 15 quid here. I think like in places like Boots, you can probably get it for a £5, maybe a tenner. But yeah, for the vast majority of people, the flu vaccination in England is not free. So
that'll be the London waiting.
Yeah. What do we have here? We're going back to the New York. Oh, we do like the New York Post here on this show, don't we?
We do like the New York Post. So this chap has been arrested. He's the CEO of a software company, right? And he's been this Conegua or something, and they've been arrested for allegedly stealing U.S. election worker data. So he had a $2.9 million 5-year contract with with California, to track their election workers' schedules and data, right? One of the conditions was the data must remain in the United States.
Okay.
He's been storing it on servers in China.
That doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me either, mate.
And he's been arrested for it, and rightfully so, as far as I'm concerned.
he's been arrested in, I think, Minnesota or something like that. So California are trying to extradite him back to their state so they can try him.
Good.
So
I'm sorry to sound like somebody who's supporting law enforcement here, but good. At the
no,
end of,
it shouldn't be. What? Why are they even
Quite
tracking the
right.
data in the first place? You know.
well,
I mean, one's not to confuse this with postal votes or electioneering or anything like that. This is just the data that refers to the people that work
yeah,
for the election company.
you're quite right. But still, you should not be
Yeah.
storing that kind of data on servers in China.
No need for it.
No need for it. What else have we got here?
Oh, we've got a fashion comment from the
Right.
Guardian. Right, so
All right. First of all, I can see the word fascist in it, and it's from the Guardian. Disregard it.
yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, why? Why does the Guardian stoop to these levels?
I mean, it
I
says,
mean, really, does it matter what she's wearing? I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
it says the red dress worn by the PM at the Tory conference was surprisingly similar to Emma Thompson's in the TV series Years and Years, as her character introduced concentration camps to Britain. Do you think Liz Truss is going to introduce concentration camps to Britain?
Now that's another question altogether.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's definitely. I mean, Keir Starmer might have.
Yeah, or Keith might just go along with it.
Yeah. What? You want to introduce some concentration camps? Remember, I'm forensic, so I'm going to have to look at the data.
Yeah,
But okay, you crack on. What's that? We don't have any opposition because we weren't in opposition when we were supposed to be in opposition. Okay, cool. Crack on.
yeah. Crack on. Right, so Dr. David Bullshit here has come out.
I like that.
Has come out with some conclusion from King College London saying that coof can damage your brain. So maybe that's what's happened to Joe, because he's had it a few times, hasn't he?
And maybe that's what's happened to Dr. David Bull.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, is there a symptom that isn't related to it? Because
Well,
I can't find
I
one.
saw somebody last night, and this is genuinely true, and I thought it was a parody account, and I looked into it, and it was not a parody. I will preface you with this. You're going to have to press the button in a minute, right? And no, not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
right,
Not
okay.
yet. Because she starts tweeting out, I've just had my booster, right? And I've got coof again. I've got long coof, but this time it's destroying me. I'm in hospital. My knees are all falling apart, essentially. She's got, like, skin all falling off her knees and stuff. And she's going, look what the coof is doing to me. And it seemed to be a pattern of when she got her boosters, this was occurring.
You know what it is!
And she was dead serious. She was like, this is definitely the coof doing this to me, yep.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% behind her. I'm 100% behind her. And here's some of your pal Hallam's, what would you
Lackeys.
call, followers, yeah.
Cultists.
Yeah, so apparently they're getting arrested today.
Okay.
So the police seem to give them a day to do their stuff, and then the next day they come along and arrest them.
Yeah, so
So why don't they just arrest them to start with?
well, you
Why do they give them a day of complete disruption?
I'll tell you why. Because you give them a little bit of time off the leash to make everybody fucking hate them. I'm sorry about the language, but yeah, I think that was a well-placed F. And you make them show themselves for the dacks that they are, and then you go and arrest them. And then, because let's face it, when you're pouring human fecal matter over Captain Tom, people aren't going to want to support what you're doing. Because despite the fact that we might have our, reservations, especially about the Captain Tom Foundation, the vast majority of the country friggin' loved that old dude. But, Maddie, whichever jail you're in, bless you. You're being joined by your mates.
Experts are puzzled and baffled as to why Haiti has one of the lowest COOF death rates in the world, despite zero treats. We don't know. Imagine that.
Because
There must be something in voodoo that protects you from the COOF.
No, we all know what it is. We know what the issue is here.
You know what it is!
Because let's face it, we can look at the data. The data is very, very clear that the vast majority of people these days that die of the COOF are in the treated category.
Yes, and well, it's not just that. It's the fact that some of the treatments that we gave the people that did have the alleged COOF didn't actually benefit them that much.
No, because they all get it.
Let's go back to Liz on that dress.
No, Liz. I'm gonna correct you right here, Liz. We are in Britain. We are dealing with an economic crisis caused by your mate Boris.
Well, no, I disagree. We are dealing with a global economic crisis caused by the governments of the world.
Yeah.
And in the UK, we are dealing with an economic crisis caused by not only the government, but by everybody out there that did nothing but sit back and accept the situation as it came to them.
Yep. You're absolutely right. We've said this a million times before that the only people standing up and saying no were being ignored. They were marching on the streets. We were some of them. But
Yep.
I said this from day one. The very first day, March 24th, I turned around and I said, this is going to cause an economic crisis, the likes of which we have never been seen before, which will ultimately cause far much more poverty, destitution, and death, because I could see this coming. And what was I told? You're killing Granny.
Yes,
No,
you're a granny killer.
No,
Granny
you're
killer.
killing Granny, her grandsons, her granddaughters, her nieces, her nephews, by doing this. I'm sorry.
Indeed. So she's wrong. She's wrong.
Yeah, she's wrong. Well, she's lying.
Yes,
She's not
it's
just
misinformation.
wrong. She is
It's misinformation
lying.
on a grand scale. And they're trying to blame a disease and a bad Russian man. It's just pathetic.
Your global economic
Pathetic.
crisis was caused by the closure of the economy. Chuck Callisto, what's he got to say here?
So while Biden, right, is releasing more oil from the US's strategic reserve.
Yeah.
So and he already gave away like 180 million gallons of it to Ukraine. So while he's releasing more barrels of oil from the US strategic reserve, OPEC have decided to cut production by 2 million barrels per day.
Yes.
Because they want to keep the prices up.
Yep.
So Biden's trying to keep the prices
down.
down, but Biden's trying to keep the prices down, and OPEC are driving the prices up.
Yeah, I mean.
So I mean, it's the whole thing's just ridiculous. You know,
It is.
Wake up, and I mean, America could be self-sufficient in oil.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what their game is.
I mean,
and then,
we probably could be as well.
yeah, well, not quite, but close. But then we get Kim.com, who points out that Germany's economic minister appears to have woken up from his long sleep and is now complaining about the astronomical prices the US are charging Germany for liquid natural gas, which is their only source now since Nord Stream's been blown up.
But it definitely.
So who benefited from that pipeline?
It definitely.
Russia, wasn't it?
Definitely was not the US who blew up that pipeline.
No, it was, and Russia benefited from it, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they benefited greatly from it.
Yeah, not America, who's charging Germany astronomical prices for LNG.
There we go. You reap what you sow, though. So.
Yeah, you reap what you sow. Now, I'm going to become quite serious here. I'm going to speak to you as Harold Bishop. Okay?
Okay.
There is no need for a specific COVID inquiry in Wales because the world has moved on.
Somebody
There you
doesn't
go.
want to go to jail.
Well, nobody's going to jail, and I've long said this. It doesn't matter what people say and how many times you go on
Yeah, I
about
know.
Nuremberg 2 and Reimer filmmaking and all this nonsense. No one will ever be held accountable for
And we
this.
want to be
No
wrong,
one.
as always. We'd love to be wrong, but it's.
But I don't.
it's-
It'll never happen.
No.
Nobody's going to be held accountable for this because all they're going to say is we were doing the best we could with the information we had at the time.
I was doing the best I can't do a Welsh accent really.
No.
But I was doing the best I could. I'll do it in Irish. I was doing the best I could when I stopped you from buying toys in Tesco.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I
Of course
stopped
you
you,
were.
when I stopped you from being able to read a book or buy a blanket.
Yeah. Of course you will.
I was doing the best I could.
There you go.
That was
Right.
kind of Welsh.
So let's go a bit. Let's go to a sporting environment that we don't often visit. We do not often visit this sporting environment, and
We
I'm
don't.
talking about the forthcoming World Cup. And where is it? It's in
That place.
Qatar.
Yeah, I was going to say that
Yeah,
place
the
that has a
place
fantastic.
that sounds like
I
phlegm.
was going to say that place that has a fantastic human rights record and definitely did not use ethnic slaves to build their stadiums.
So here's a welcome to Qatar poster, okay? Right, I'll read them out. No drinking alcohol, no homosexuality, no immodesty, no profanity. Oh, we're not going to Qatar.
No.
No rejecting or disrespecting places of worship.
Okay.
No loud music and sounds.
Right.
No dating. And no taking people's pictures without their permission.
Well, that's all of the TV companies screwed them, right? You can't broadcast the football games because of people in the stands.
Well, you would think so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that sounds like a fun place to have a football match, doesn't it?
I remember when they drew Qatar as hosting the World Cup. I just confused the hell out of me because
They've got a brilliant human rights record as well, haven't they?
like I said, the stadiums that the players are going to be playing in definitely were not built by ethnic slaves.
No, they weren't.
I mean, they definitely were, but let's face it. Slavery only matters when it was hundreds of years ago. When it comes to these activists and the like, we're going to get all of these. I'm assuming that's why England have finally stopped taking the knee, is because you can't be doing such a thing over in Qatar.
No, well, no, because have they not still got actual slave markets?
Yes! I'm not sure if they've got markets, but they've definitely got slaves.
Yeah, I know. Right, so as you may have gathered, we're coming towards the end of the show, and we're in the more light-hearted section at the moment. So, but I have to go quite serious for the next item because it appears that Poland maybe knows something that we don't.
Oh.
Yes. They broadcast this on TV.
Vladimir Putin!
They have labelled Vladimir Putin as the president of Ukraine.
Presidente Ukraine!
Has somebody mentioned this to Zelensky?
I don't know, Zelensky's probably...
Or is Poland just further along the narrative than we are?
I was going to say, I wouldn't be shocked if Zelensky was in a pile of white powder somewhere right now. So,
there you go.
he probably doesn't... His wife's off doing another Vogue photo shoot in a destroyed area.
And on a serious note, Poland have apparently asked NATO to put nuclear weapons in their country.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, I know. Why?
Oh, good God.
Oh,
Let's
I mean,
move on.
let's face it, the last time there was a war, it didn't work out well for Poland, did it?
No, it never does.
So this guy proposes to his girlfriend at a Toronto Blue Jays game and gets a slap because he used a ring pop instead of a proper ring. Maybe it was just a placeholder. Maybe his intention was honest. But...
You know what? I would have also used a ring pop, so...
So there you
I'd
go.
have done the same. Because let's say, okay, let's look at it from a smart perspective here, okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna get down on one knee, you're going to propose, and you don't know if she's going to say yes. Why
Yeah,
would
and
you? Why would you go out and pay thousands, perhaps thousands
No,
of
no,
dollars
no,
on a
no,
ring?
no, no. Hold on. Let's look at it from another perspective, right?
Right.
Going to propose. You're pretty sure she's going to say yes because you're going to propose,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Because obviously, if you thought it was like a 50-50, you wouldn't be proposing, would you? Unless you're really stupid.
Well.
But you're going down on one knee in front of tens of thousands of people,
Yeah.
and you produce a ring pop.
Fucking boss. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're gonna look like a dick, and she's going, "You fucking dick," and then gives him a slap in front of tens of thousands of people.
You know what? I'm
with her. I'm with her.
I'm
on
with
this
him.
one.
I'm on his side here.
So we disagree.
Ring pop.
We'll
all
agree
the
to
way.
disagree on
We
this
will
one.
agree to disagree on this one. Yes. Let's move on. If there
Yeah,
anything is to move
moving
on,
on,
to.
mate. Then the last item on the list, okay, is and I had to double check that this isn't a parody account.
Okay.
Okay. Because I thought this cannot be real.
Okay.
But no, it is. It's the Defense of Ukraine.
Yay!
Ukraine government organization. And this is what they produced yesterday.
Okay.
The world's second army. I don't know where they're getting that from because I don't understand how it becomes the second army. Because I think there's quite a few bigger than, better than it in the world. But anyway, the world's second army cherishes its historical traditions. For the sake of mobilization, strategic reserve of foot wraps has been released.
What?
I have no idea what they're talking about. This guy is wrapping himself in a bit of cloth and then trying to put on a pair of boots.
What?
So I have no idea what the fuck is going on here.
I'm telling you, the Defense of Ukraine is a troll account that got itself a blue tick.
I think it is. It can't be real.
It can't be real. I mean, this is a Tank Wars account. For Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
this is the Tank Wars. This is the Ghost of Kiev. This
Call of
I think
Duty.
it's got to be. I mean, it's flagged as a Ukraine government organization.
It can't
it's
be.
a joke.
It can't be.
I'm
Come
calling
on.
it out right now. I think it's a joke.
Somehow it got itself a bloody blue tick.
Blue tick, yeah.
And it's whoever's running that account was absolutely flabbergasted the day they got that blue tick. I'm telling you
Yeah,
now.
I think
They went,
they were.
all right, lads, we've done it. We've done it. That's the only option. The only option here. And with that, John, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed this show or you enjoy our daily show Monday to Fridays at 1 p.m, then please consider helping us keep the lights on here in these studios and paying for the internet bills and the like at patreon.com/chasing descent, or indeed subscribestar.com/chasing descent, or ko-fi.com/chasing descent. And if you'd like to buy me a glass of wine on my travels next week, then please feel free to do so at paypal.me/wheeliebricks. That's paypal.me/wheeliebricks. Links are in the chat as we speak. John.
And with that, I bring this episode to a close, and I'd like to thank you one and all for attending this episode 135 of Chasing Descent Live.
My last show for a few days tomorrow. John and Adam for the first part of next week. Should be interesting. Bye for now.
Bye.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience. So, good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system. You forgot Uranus. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work to.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.